Hello and welcome to In the Lab. It's me, Mr. Walker, and we have Mr. Thomas.
Hi everybody. So today I've got a load of corn flour right here, right? And I've got a little bit of water. And we're going to mix them together and make something that's called, you might have seen it on the internet, called Oobleck. It's a very funny name for a very funny substance.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is something that you should be able to do at home as long as you've got a little bit of corn flour and water and some permission from your parents.
Yeah. Make sure it's not normal flour, it's got to be corn flour. Any water will do. Sir's getting his hands dirty.
Mix it.
I'm glad I'm not doing this, it's Sir getting messy. Ooh, look at that. Give it a real mix, yeah. Is it feeling any different?
Just a little bit. So it's starting to mix, but there's still a bit of solid in there.
Yeah. It's like baking this. Except I wouldn't want to eat this afterwards. It will taste floury and a bit bleh.
And it will make a mess.
It is edible, but I wouldn't want to. So, totally up to you, people at home, what you do with it afterwards.
Okay, so this oobleck that we've mixed together, it's what we call a non-Newtonian fluid. Okay, so Newton thought that there were solids and there were liquids and they were very different, right? But what we found out is that some substances act like a liquid sometimes, and some substances, so we have a liquid here, and some substances might act like a liquid but then act like a solid. In this case, when we apply pressure to it. All right, if you want to zoom in a little bit, all right, I'll give it a smack. You can see it actually resists my hand.
Oh yeah, but when you press your fingers in gently, it's just like a liquid. Just like what you put no pressure, but as soon as you start moving hard, it's firm. Isn't that weird?
It's incredible.
I like that. It reminds me of quicksand, because this is a very similar principle, non-Newtonian fluid. When you're in quicksand, if you don't move, it's the opposite. It's like a solid. And they say don't squirm around in quicksand, because then you change the molecules, the arrangement of the molecules becomes like a liquid and you start to sink. So the more you thrash about, the more you sink. If you stay still in quicksand, you actually stay absolutely still. You don't start to sink and someone can pull you out. There's
Are there
another
any
one,
examples in our everyday life?
Yes, there are. Sauces that we often have, like ketchup, things like that. When it's in a bottle, it's normally very solid. And people say shake it before you pour it, because again, it's the opposite of this. Still non-Newtonian, because it doesn't follow the normal pattern, but the other way around. It's solid when it's not moving, like quicksand. When you shake it, so you see people shaking the bottle, then they pour it onto the food. It becomes like a liquid when it's shook, and they pour it and they keep shaking it and pouring it. If you can't get it out of the bottle, that is a real world application of using the principles of non-Newtonian fluids to help you get your food onto your fish and chips. So as you can see, I do enjoy doing this. If I can hit all of it at once, it will all go solid, but it does look very much like thick cream. So yeah, quite impressive really. Anything else you'd like to do while we're on camera?
Yeah, can we take a hammer to this thing?
Hammer. Well, I like the idea of that. Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens when we do that. Where's the hammer? Where's the hammer? Who's got the hammer? I think it's over there, sir. While Sir's fetching the hammer, because we like to experiment here in science, I would think that... Oh, it's good, isn't it? I would think that if we hit it really hard enough, we might be able to get the whole lot to go solid in one go, because the more pressure applied, the more it's going to rearrange the molecules into a solid. So let's give it a go.
Okay.
It definitely does go solid in that one spot that you hit it. It doesn't seem to have the solid pattern spread throughout, does it? No. Just try it again. Yeah, the whole thing is liquid. All that force is in that centre bit. It is actually better to put less force over a wider area and you get the whole surface. Well, who'd have thought that? If you do this at home and you find out any other results and you experiment in any way, do let us know, because we might give what you do a go in a future video. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, we've actually come back on camera again because I thought this was another interesting application. We've come to clean up the mess that we've made here. And you'd think it would be just nice and, just wiping up nice and simply when you've got any old liquid. But look what happens when I try and wipe it. It goes super hard and turns into a solid because I'm applying pressure. So the problem with wiping up a non-Newtonian fluid is that sometimes it doesn't all completely come up. So it is quite liquidy. Put pressure in, can't move it at all. I don't know if it's easier or harder. The other thing is, follow me over here. We'll go over to the sink. I was trying to wash out our little tray. Again, you'd think you could just wash it out like you could a normal liquid, but as I apply pressure and I rub it, it turns to a solid. So it's actually much more difficult to get out, and I have to really push it hard to get it out, even though it will flow like a liquid when I don't add pressure. So there you go, a little bit extra for you.